there's not many things for Sasquatches, and I heard about the Sasquatch Festival, and I can't believe all the humans are here.
The world's chaotic right now, so we gotta believe in something that would make our hearts lighter and make people happier.
If it makes people happy and they believe it, good.
Have you ever seen a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch?
I have a Bigfoot.
This appears to be the Bigfoot research team mobile.
The Pacific Northwest, that's where you mostly see Sasquatch around. That's where everybody has their encounters or want to see it and they want to believe it.
You know, he's our neighbor. The Umpqua National Forest is literally just right here in our backyard, and that's his home.
How did you get into studying this as your academic pursuit and as a man of...
That's usually the... Yeah. Well, and so since you qualified that as an academic pursuit, I'll curtail the preamble and jump into the academic. I had an early exposure to Bigfoot, Sasquatch, when I lived in Spokane, Washington, and Roger Patterson came through town showing his now famous piece of film footage. I entered college on a pre-veterinary track, and you know, I had discovered a real fascination with human anatomy. It was physical anthropology that seemed to embody so much that I was interested in: the evolution of human anatomy and form and function, relationships, primate behavior, and comparative anatomy. It was the footprint evidence of a possibly extant non-human biped. What an interesting case of comparison and contrast to our own condition. I was invited to participate in an analysis of a piece of video footage that was shot in Northern California. It was called the Redwoods video, famous now, also known as the Playmate video. The guest host of the documentary series was a former Playmate of the Year.
Recently, she was in the news again after she said she saw Bigfoot.
Come on, Jay, that's not a bear. That's not a gorilla or whatsoever. That's something different.
Have you shown this to any sort of Bigfootologists?
Yes, oh yes, we have. Actually, a lot of researchers have looked into this.
The piece of video footage was really quite fascinating. I undertook it as, I thought, an exercise in pointing out the zipper. I was going to just debunk it. I couldn't find a darn zipper anywhere. And in fact, there were interesting details of anatomy that really got me wondering. And Hick's description of the mid-tarsal break in chimpanzees, this adaptation for grasp climbing, the ability to hold on with the front part of the foot while still levering with the heel segment. And I know that Kevin Lindley next to me has some original cast material.
Kevin Lindley can spin a good yarn. The Bigfoot hunters are bringing more than just stories back from the woods. They're bringing back hard physical evidence.
Not proven until dead. That's the way our society accepts things, and that's a sad way to have to go. But nobody's going to take it serious until that happens, until we get a body.
I mean, I was fully aware of all the grief that my predecessor, now the late Dr. Krantz, had suffered at the hands of his colleagues, fellow scientists, for his involvement, his pursuit of this question.
These creatures do, in all likelihood, exist. It's not just a gigantic human foot. The leverage has been redesigned.
Within the northwestern part of the United States, I would estimate 200. Fewer than that, it does not seem to be a viable breeding population. Any more than that, I would think they'd be seen more often.
The Patterson subject walks like this for over 300 feet. I doubt that any human being could be trained to do that.
And so one little imp is saying to me, you really want to do this? You really want to go down this path? You look what happened to Grover. And the other one's saying, how could you walk away from this most fascinating of scientific questions?
So here we are at the Sasquatch Festival. Here are different variations of what you may see as an outline of a Sasquatch out in the wild. A comprehensive map of the Bigfoot sightings in Douglas County. Legend has it that there are sightings, tracking signs, and audible situations.
All right, folks, the Sasquatch calling is about to begin.
Big. We even help Sasquatch.
We rehabilitate almost everything here at Forever Wild Wildlife Rescue, and they eat a lot. So if you can donate to our cause, please feel free to come to our website, fwwr.org.
I personally believe, I certainly don't dismiss it. We have way too much land out here that's unexplored. This is cabin at the end of Herrick Road. It's been out for about 2 years now. and it is a Sasquatch horror story. If you ever heard of the concept of solipsism in psychology, it's kind of like the presence of mind where you're the only thing that exists, while everything else around you is just a figment of your imagination. So the conversation we're having, the trees, the flags, the festival, everything around us is just made up in your mind, and you're the only thing that's alive.
They're tossing bags, cornholing. Oh. Yes!
That was one of the more authentic calls we've heard.
We just moved here. I'm from Las Vegas.
Ever seen a Sasquatch?
I have never.
Do you believe in them?
No.
Why not?
But I do love in the thought of it, and I love that we have something that's gone on for all these generations. Like since I was just a kid, people have been talking about them. Here I am in my 50s, and they're still talking about them. We are at the top of the chain, we think. But to think there might be something smarter that knows how to hide its remains. It knows how to never be found. I mean, think about that. We have never found the bones, but if they were existing, they're a lot smarter than us, and they've learned how to live in this world. I don't even know how to live in today's world.
You know, people ask me, do you believe? No, I don't use the term I believe, because the skeptics use the label of true believer in a very disparaging, derogatory fashion. Belief in the common usage tends to connote a position of faith, an acceptance of something in the absence of evidence. As a scientist, I'm convinced by the evidence.
Are the UFOs dropping these creatures here to see if they can live on our Earth? And why has no one found any bones or the remains of one of them? Do these giants decompose into powder when they die? Or are they perhaps picked up again by the UFOs to be examined in alien laboratories?
Oh, mechanical ball.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
My name is Kayla Griffiths. I'm the owner of Ascend Events and the organizer, event director for Glide Revitalization's Glide Sasquatch Festival. The organization itself is really known for helping the survivors of the Arctic Creek fire. Our goal is to raise enough money to put programs back into the Glide community. So up to date, they have provided over $1 million in funds and relief. Things like their UCAN project, reforestation. They want to put a bike path into the community. So things that will immediately affect the community of Glide.
Interesting. I just stole that from Jake.
I'd just like to continue, get better, just keep doing this.
A man pointed out in this picture we sold earlier, there's a Sasquatch unknowing in the clouds.
Wow. Do you
Did you
see
get
that?
And Stephen didn't even intentionally do it. And I kid you not, me and my two sisters, we were out and we decided we were going to go camping by ourselves. And we were probably about 10, 11, 12. It walked right past our tent where we were camping and up the other side. And I kid you not, to this day, I know that Sasquatch exist. We just know what we know we saw.
Yeah.
And all three of us like, we're going home now. All people building houses everywhere and everything else are just pushing them further back up into the woods. But they're still there. They are still there. I truly believe it. And if I could get far enough back up into those woods and camp again, I would, just to be able to see another one.
Okay, I believe in science 100%. I believe in everything you guys are doing. I don't believe in Bigfoot, but what I would like to know, if people say they've seen them, they smell them. My friend back here has tracking dogs. He could find them if they put one on him.
No,
why
they can't.
hasn't that been done?
It has been done. The dogs won't track them. Just like coyotes avoid them, bears avoid them. I think there's something about them that they know that they're too dangerous. Actually, there's been cases where they have sick dogs on them and the dogs don't come back.
Will you tell us who you are, or who you're here with, and why you're here at the Sasquatch Fest today? Whoa! Holy!
Scott Villette, and I'm with Squatch America, and I'm one of the guest speakers here. I've been doing Bigfoot research for over 25 years. Native American cultural anthropologist. Over my years of working with Native American tribes all over the United States, every single one of them have a Bigfoot legend. And my expertise is actually in pictographs and petroglyphs, and I have found over 7 Bigfoot stories on rocks that some of them are up to 5,000 years old. We live full-time in an RV. We just travel and do Bigfoot research.
Have you seen Bigfoot?
Yes, I've seen 2 at the same time. This is over in Eastern Oregon in the Blue Mountains. So I got 5 reports in the same week by 5 people that didn't know each other in the same area. So like, that's where I need to go. We were hiking the trail and I smelled this bad smell. My description would be wet dog, garbage, skunk, and onions. So I just went off into the woods. And it mimicked me. It went, and that's when I saw it. I saw this head in the woods doing this, looking at me, kind of bobbing back and forth. I got my camera up, I got 1 shot, and we heard this whistle off in the woods, and it turned and walked away. We spent 3 days there shooting lasers through trees, measuring everything, because archaeologists, So I found out that the creature was like 6 foot tall. We found 9-inch footprints with 15-inch footprints next to them. So there was 2 of them, and when I went back and looked at my picture, there was one standing behind it that I had never seen. Did you see the juvenile and the adult?
With it all working.
Will you zoom out? Wow.
Have you heard the Ojibwa Indians? They actually have a treaty with Bigfoot that happened years ago. Bigfoot told the Ojibwa not to trade with the white man when they showed up because it wasn't going to turn out well. Bigfoot told the Ojibwa, if you trade with the white man, we're going to go into the mountains and never be seen again. Guess what happened? These are all like historic ones from the past.
Okay.
Like that famous Patterson-Gimlin film from 1967. And I even got a little jar of sand from Bluff Creek where those prints were taken. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's Roger Patterson in 1967 holding up these 2 casts. Well, these are copies, they're not the originals, of course.
Yeah.
And these here are called crippled foot. These are a famous one. It has 1 crippled foot, 1 normal foot. It's actually a diagnosable problem that a podiatrist can tell you it's clubfoot because they have these 2 nodules on the side of it. They found 1,089 of those footprints. So if it was faked, it's faked by a podiatrist 1,089 times, which I don't think that's what happened. It's the most prevalent of the cryptid monsters out there. They've been around forever. It's been a story forever. It's not a new phenomenon. And it's just catching on more and more all the time.
Somewhere in these dense forests lurks something for whose origin and existence science can offer no earthly explanation. Called Sasquatch in Canada, Bigfoot in the western states, Folk Monster in Arkansas, Momo in Missouri, Skunk Ape in the Florida Everglades, these foul-smelling giants, some of them reportedly 10 feet in height, crash around in the undergrowth, uproot trees, invade logging camps, and terrify witnesses.
What's it like trying to integrate into a community in these parts for you? Do you have any supports?
Well, the barbershops don't like me very much, and they see me and they're just like, oh no, it's that person again.
That's discrimination.
It is. Oh, they make fun of my feet all the time, just Bigfoot this, Bigfoot that. I would say it's a slur. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're not that big. We love the outdoors, and people should learn more about the places that we live and not throw trash in our house. That would be nice. Be good people. Be good people, kids. Be nice.
So when I call your name, please raise your hand so the audience will know who you are, okay? All right, the judges, which is you, have voted. Our winner is Camden, our first place winner.
have any new perspectives on Sasquatch?
I learned that people are saying there's a lot in this area. So that's pretty interesting to me, seeing as we're in the middle of a forest.
Dun dun dun.